Hi everybody, this is Professor Jameson. If you're a little freaked out about your last assignment, the motion assignment, no need to worry. I am here to help. Okay. If you look down at the bottom of the assignments for this week, I've attached a couple of documents. Okay. The first one that you want to look at is the one that is the PDF file. Okay. Attached to that file, or in that file, is a notice of deposition. Okay, this is one actually from a real case. I've taken the names out, and this was a real case, and this really happened in this case, which was I set a deposition. I actually set this lady's deposition 3 or 4 times. The case involved, just to let you know, it involved a typical auto accident case where there was a collision. The lady on the other side, who's the defendant, she was intoxicated at the time, which was great for me because that meant I could get punitive damages for my client, and that meant the settlement value would go up. And I'd set her deposition a couple of times. They'd blow me off, you know, cancel, and finally I said, no, it's going forward on this date. They didn't show up, and so obviously I had to file this a motion to compel. I will actually post later on the actual motion to compel that I filed, but if I did that now, that would be way too easy for you. So you'll have something to compare it to, the actual real document that was actually produced in the case, and I'll post that next week if you want to look at that. So what you've got in the PDF file is you've got the actual notice of motion, okay, and then what else you have is you have, remember what I talked about in my video lecture, California points and authorities, okay. I went down to the library and I copied the points and authorities that you will need for this motion, okay. It's a relatively short motion, okay. We will be asking for sanctions as well. How many hours and how much you want to ask for sanctions, whatever your hourly rate is, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to charge $300 an hour, you think you're worth it, great. So I actually did produce this. Lighting's not real good. Let me see if I can get this over here. Yeah, it's a little better with that light. Okay, so the points and authorities are there, and I photocopied a few extra pages if you want to look at some of the additional case law in that regard. But all you really need to do is use the points and authorities there in sections A, B, and C, or paragraphs A, B, and C. Okay. There's also a lot of stuff at the bottom of that first page where it says memorandum, points and authorities, and all that. That has headings. Okay. I didn't talk about headings because I usually don't use them in simple motions. But if we're going to have a really complex long motion, headings are really important, and I'll tell you why. It's because the judge usually won't actually read the whole memo or the whole motion. I know that's shocking you, but they will read the headings. So the goal when I'm writing sophisticated motion is to actually make the headings make my argument for me. Okay, so you could actually read the headings and decide the case on that without looking at the law. But in this case, we're not going to have headings because the motion is really short. Okay, so I provided you with a notice of motion. You're going to assume that we went forward, we sat there that day, and they didn't show up. Okay, so that's the actual date of the motion. Okay, and then what I provided you, like I said, is with the points and authorities, the law you need in your argument section for the judge to convince the judge on that your motion should be granted. Okay, the other document that I've uploaded is a template that you can use to draft the motion. Okay, it's actually the template. It's the actual motion that I filed, but I deleted all the good stuff, so you have to put it in yourself. All right. Okay. So what I would do if I was approaching this motion, the first thing that I would do is I would look at the motion that I previously posted. Okay. Remember, there's 3 parts. There's the notice of motion, there's the memorandum of points and authorities, and the declaration. Okay, so you're going to be drafting all 3 of those. You can include them in the same document as opposed to a separate document with separate bird cages. And what I would do is I would look, first of all, at my notice of motion that I previously explained in my previous lecture. Okay, all you've got to do is really take that those couple paragraphs and change them around with the dates and change the type of motion from a motion regarding form interrogatories and that type of stuff. I think it was, yeah, form interrogatories and request for production documents. And now we're talking about motion to compel attendance at a deposition. So you can use that notice of motion, change it around, plop it into the template, and you've got your notice of motion. You can put whatever date, time, and department that you want. I really don't care. And so that's how you're going to do the notice of motion. Now, the memorandum of points and authorities, look at the sample motion that I previously provided you. Okay. Obviously, it can't be the same because it's a different motion. Okay. So what you need to put in here is the law, and I've already got that here in the points and authorities for you, and your argument. Okay. So your argument is going to go something like, yeah, well, we set the depot, they didn't show. Okay. It's pretty simple. Okay. Then you're going to have to do my declaration. Okay. Attached to the declaration, you don't have to do the exhibits, but we would actually attach the notice of motion. And I would use the sample declaration that I previously used and change the paragraphs around to reflect the facts in this case. That should give you enough to go on. This motion is about as simple as it gets. Okay. If you're having any problems, if you're confused with my instructions, email me, give me a phone call. If you want to talk face-to-face on FaceTime or Skype, whatever, that's all good. Okay, that's it for now. That should be enough to give you to complete the assignment. Good luck, and most of you are producing pretty good work product, and I expect the same this time. Have a great day.